Hello everybody, it's Vinyl Richard with Vinyl Finds number 76. This will probably be my last Vinyl Finds video until after Christmas. I do have, in fact I wasn't even planning on making this one. I was going to do something else, but I couldn't find the album for that video. But I do have enough for a Vinyl Finds, and I knocked that one out, and I have some other videos I have in mind. In fact, I had some ideas 2 years ago and I still haven't made those videos. But I'm going to start it off with this record here. It's a split. You got Night Loner, Bad Pain, and you got Guilt Police, Grease. And it looks like a 7-inch. Let me pull it out here. Looks like a, typical 7-inch. But it's actually pretty cool. It's a 5-inch. Little 5-inch record. Clear vinyl. It makes the 5-inch, it being 2 inches shorter than normal, sure makes the labels look really big. But yeah, I think each song is like a minute and something. They're two very short songs. And the reason I picked this up is JaredStults. This is his band here. Night Loner, I believe, is the name of the band. Bad Pain is the name of the song. To me, that looks like Good Pain. Yeah, that looks like Good Pain to me. I don't know JaredStults. I watch his videos, most of them. He's from Austin, Texas. He does make YouTube videos. Young, good-looking guy. And I just have a feeling he's into some kinky sex, dude. I can tell. I was too when I was a young guy, Not in my 20s. I didn't get too kinky till I was in my 30s. But, yeah, really cool. This is probably my second 5-inch. I do have one. I believe it's a 5-inch, a Black Flag. A big black. That came with a VHS tape I have. And it comes with this insert. With this terrified baby in Ronald McDonald's hands. And then it's got this on the other side. I'm assuming, these two collages are done by the two bands. And it did have a nice note in here. Thank you for the support, JaredStults. But yeah, I recommend. I'm going to leave a link to the video where you can send off for this. I believe it's limited. I'm thinking he said it was limited to 50. So there won't be very many out there. Now this next one here is an album that Spinning Greek showed. I believe I had this album before the Record Store Day. Or no, I think I had it before Record Store Day. I'm not sure. I know I've had it a few weeks. Man, what the hell? But yeah, Stavros, the Spinning Greek showed this. It's the Dream Syndicate, the complete live at Raji's. It's what is the name of this thing? Let me get the. It's a Run Out Groove release. I don't know if you can see that. I'll talk about that in a minute. This was originally released in '89, and there were some. Let me show the gatefold here. And there were some mistakes. It was recorded on January 31st, 1988. And when it was released in 89, it was written on the record that it was recorded in 89. And that prompted Melody Maker to write in their review that they must not have thought much of their album Ghost Stories, since there are no tracks from that album. Well, actually, those tracks weren't written until after this concert. And the other mistake that was on the credits, it had Steve McDonald from Red Cross listed as an assistant, when in actuality he was a recording engineer. So they righted a couple of mistakes. Now, as far as the music goes, this is a really good. I never did hear the original album. This album sounds fantastic. It's got 2 songs off of their first EP. That's What You Always Want, or no, That's What You Always Say, and When You Smile, I believe. It's got probably 4 or so songs from their first full-length album. And I have a later album of theirs, and it's got a couple of songs from that. Halloween, and maybe Burn. Oh, their first full length is The Days of Wine and Roses. But yeah, this is a really, really good album. It has a song on here called The Medicine Show, which was the name of another one of their albums that I don't have. This is Paul Cutler here on the guitar. He was the original guitarist. He came from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Hogs Ear Report territory. He was in the Consumers. They moved out to LA. That band didn't last very long. He joined 45 Grave, the guitar player for 45 Grave, Vox Pop, and then and he produced a lot of records. And then he joined Dream Syndicate. He was not the original guitarist in Dream Syndicate. I have one of their studio albums with him on it, and I didn't care for it as much as their early stuff, so I never really bought anything else from them. But this is making me reevaluate some of their later stuff. I'm gonna probably check out. But this is a great band. I saw them quite a few times actually in concert. This was a band that they weren't in the Hollywood punk scene. They were more of an outsider group, and I believe, I'm not sure, but I think some of these guys went to Pasadena City College maybe. They used to play gigs a lot with the Human Hands, Bee People, and those kind of bands. And I used to dig those kind of bands. But yeah, this is really good. Run Out Groove. I had never heard of them before. It's kind of like a vinyl service. What's that other one? Vinyl Me Please, where I guess you sign up and they'll send you a record that they repackaged. You don't know what it is. And I don't know. Some of those records, they look really good, but I'm not going to buy a record and I don't know what it is. This one, I'm thinking of, I'm going to look into. I subscribe to them, and what it is they post 3 albums that they'll re-release, and you vote on which one. This last month, Fear the Record was one of them, and they were going to have some outtakes and stuff on it, so that's what I voted for. It did not win, so I don't remember what one won, but I'm not going to buy it. And that's how it works, and it's a limited run, depending on how many people order the album. And I think they do print a few for select record stores, because I bought this at a record store, so obviously. But yeah, this one here, it's limited. It says on here, Run Out Groove, 1,349 were pressed. If you can find this, pick it up. I highly recommend it. And it's on the Enigma. The label looks like the old Enigma label that the Dream Syndicate were on. Really cool album. Now, this next one is another one that was recommended, or shown at least, by another VC member. Salem Ground Zero. I had a brain fart there. Dialysis, Pretty Man. This is another one I've had for. I know I had this before Record Store Day, and I made a Record Store Day video. Then after that, I had a bunch of 60s stuff, and these records really didn't fit into the 60s, so I decided to break them up. Anyways, this is a really cool album. It's got a back, kind of, it's like a cartoonish illustrated front cover. I don't know why I keep always wanting to hold the records up here. And it's pretty interesting. The same with the back. It looks like an old comic book type of thing. Even Some Girls, the way the songs are listed. But anyways, this is a band that he personally knows. I believe the singer. I'm going to think it's Ryan Canavan. There's sax on this, like different sounds and stuff. I think TV clips, phones ringing, and all. It's been like 3 weeks since I've heard this. Let me see if it's... Yeah, it is on colored vinyl. It's actually very beautiful. Blue. It goes with my eyes. Dialysis. Very cool band. Check it out. I mean, check them out online. They're 3 dudes, older dudes. Looks like they've been doing this for a couple of decades maybe, you know? Very cool. Now this next album, honestly I wouldn't have probably picked this album up either if it wasn't for Hippie DJ Psy. God damn, I'm gonna kick myself in the ass. Man, that sucks. Anyways, he did a Strawberry Alarm Clock video where he showed all the Strawberry Alarm Clock albums. I did not own any of their albums. I thought the first album, I mean, I have it on CD. I think Incense and Peppermints, to me, is the best song in the album. Some of the other songs are really great. I think their drawback was their vocals. Their second album, I heard that one, I remember back in the day, you know, at someone's house, and I didn't like it. I don't remember it that well, but I remember thinking it was kind of corny. I have heard their third one, and the vocals on that one, it's just more a psych album, and the vocals on that are actually really good. I think this is their fourth one. It's not really, it might have tinges of psych, but it's more of a hard rocking blues rock album. And of course it's on the Uni pack, Uni label. But yeah, this is really good, and I wouldn't have bought this normally. And it's on the Uni label that we all know. And this next one is another 60s. It's the Troggs. Love is All Around. Love is All Around the Troggs. Now, I don't know if this is actually their second album or so, or if it's just a comp. If you know, let me know. There I go, holding it up again. It's a good album though. I dig these guys. Like I said when I bought their first album, Wild Thing, I was really surprised how much I like this band. It's like a British garage band, you know, on the Fontana label. And it's in this Columbia record sleeve. Now this next one, these next two are albums that I did own in the 70s. Eddie Harris, oh man. Come On Down. This album you used to find in the dollar bins. back in the early 70s all the time. I found this one. It is not a cutout. Doesn't have the hole punch or the cut corner, which is a cutout. It's not a promo when you do that. I don't know why people keep insisting on. And this is kind of he's an electric saxophone player, and it's kind of easy. It's not easy listening, but it's not way out there stuff. Whereas a lot of the electric, it isn't fusion. It's more of a rocky. It's a jazz album, but it's not easy listening. But it's easy to listen to. Put it that way, especially by today's standards. But yeah, I really dig this album, especially side 1. Don't you know your future's in space? Great song. But yeah, I really dig this album. You don't hear nobody talk about Eddie Harris, but I like him. Atlantic Records. I used to own quite a few of his albums. Well, maybe 3 or 4, put it that way. Really cool sleeve. I dig these original inner sleeves. This next guy is another one that's been shown quite a bit. He gets a lot of love, it seems like, in the VC. Michael Nesmith. I had all 3 of his first 3 albums when they came out. When the first one came out, I heard it at my cousin's guy's house, and I go, that's pretty cool, you know. And I ended up getting the red, the white, and the blue one when they came out. I have the other 2, but I did not have this one and anymore. And yeah, that's really good. I mean, I think this is his first one, actually. 1970. If you see these albums, they all have the same, similar cover. Pick them up. And then his 4th album, too. Something about the hits just keep rolling in. That's a good album, too. But yeah, highly recommend. And it's definitely not a Dynaflex. Really, another cool inner sleeve, and it's got that RCA, but really thick vinyl. Before Dynaflex was a thing. I got one more new one, really cool, and this is a Charred Remains. This is a comp, a punk comp. Came out in 1982, North American hardcore compilation that came out in 82, as I said, but it was a cassette-only release. This is the first time it was released on vinyl. It's a Radio Raheem release. So when I saw that, I go, it's going to be good quality. I like this right here. It says, "Let them eat Jello." That's pretty funny. If you're into hardcore American punk, you'll get that. But it's got some really good. It's got Articles of Faith, Toxic Reasons, Void, Husker Du. It's got some really good bands on it. And it's absolutely fantastic. Glad this came out on vinyl. And like I said, Radio Raheem, everything I've picked up by them, I really dig. Comes with this really cool book. This is a double album. Originally, you know how like those cassettes, they were probably 30 minutes per side. So these are roughly 15-minute sides on the album. And I'm sure this is the book that came. Has a little page for each band. But yeah, it's really cool. There's a Husker Du one. And there was something I was going to show on here. Dogs of War. I think it was that band. Anyways, yeah, I think this is it. No, I don't know. I can't remember. Oh, it was this band. The guy's name. Oh, well, anyways, I don't remember. It's just, you know, your typical, you know, do it your DIY, they call it now, do it yourself. And on the back, got a ad for the what was then a cassette. Side A, side B, and same things. C and D. Very cool. That's it for my vinyl finds. I do have 2 more records here. I'm gonna when I make these videos, I always forget. I mean, I don't have a script. I kind of have an idea what I'm gonna say. I tend to forget to say certain things, and sometimes I say things that are not correct. When I made my favorite psych albums, I showed this band, Kaleidoscope, and I incorrectly said that they are from Dominican Republic. They are actually from Puerto Rico. The album was recorded in New York City, and it was released only in Mexico. And that's why a lot of people think this Kaleidoscope was a Mexican band. They were actually Puerto Rican guys. But pick this up, man, for Psych. And then I recently made a video, give them the boot. I showed some bootlegs, and I showed this here, Death in June, recorded live at the Fridge in London. And I'll pull this one out. And I assumed it was a bootleg. It's on this red vinyl, plain labels, but this was actually an official release by Death in June. And you know, I read the dead wax. I looked it up after I made the video, of course. But yeah, it's not a bootleg. But who cares, huh? But yeah, I thought I'd clear those 2 things up. Usually I just let it slide, but I thought I'd clear those 2 things up. Take care, everybody. I might make a video next week before Christmas, but if I don't, have a good Christmas, everybody. Take care. And for those that don't celebrate Christmas, you have a good Christmas too. All right.